Welcome to my channel Coin Wealth USA today. Get ready for one of the most surprising and electrifying stories in the world of rare coin collecting. We're diving deep into the world of the legendary 1972 Liberty One dime, a coin that many people overlook every single day, but one that might just be worth an unbelievable $3,600 million in today's rare coin market. Yes, you heard that right. $3.6 billion, so sit back, hold on tight, and don't blink, because this dime is about to rewrite everything you thought you knew about American currency, history, and hidden fortune. Let's get started. The year was 1972. America stood at the edge of historical transition. The Vietnam War was still raging. President Richard Nixon was preparing for a landmark visit to China. NASA was finishing its Apollo missions. And in the midst of political turbulence, cultural shifts, and global headlines, the United States Mint quietly struck a coin that would later become one of the most mysterious and valuable artifacts in American coinage history. That coin was the 1972 Liberty One dime. This 10-cent coin may look small, but its legacy is enormous. The 1972 Liberty One dime was minted at a time when the U.S. Mint was experiencing major modernization. The production process was shifting, new dime-making technologies were being tested, and errors were slipping through the cracks. During this year, dimes were struck primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with millions entering circulation. But not all dimes were created equal. Some were different, some were rare, some were lost in time, and are now worth more than gold. Let's take a moment to admire the design. On the obverse, we see the powerful profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His face has graced the dimes since 1946, in honor of his leadership and his establishment of the March of Dimes. Around the rim, the word, Liberty, proudly marks the values the United States was built upon. Beneath Roosevelt's chin, the words, "In God We Trust," are etched with conviction, and below, the date, 1972, stands strong, frozen in time. Flip the coin to the reverse, and you'll find a dignified image of a torch, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength, and underneath, the powerful declaration, United States of America, one dime. But this is where things start to get interesting. Now listen closely, because this next detail could be the difference between holding an ordinary coin and a life-changing fortune. Most 1972 dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time did not use a mintmark. But those struck at the Denver Mint carried the letter D just above the torch on the reverse. Among these Denver-struck dimes, a few rare variants began to emerge. Errors, misstrikes, off-centers, double dies, blank planchets, and the extremely rare full-band varieties that numismatists today are willing to pay jaw-dropping sums for. In fact, some error coins from this batch were so unique, they were declared one of a kind. Collectors all over the world have been hunting for these dimes. And when one surfaced recently in mint state condition, authenticated and graded by professional services, it was valued at a staggering $3,600 million. That's not a typo. That's the actual estimated value based on auction house predictions, rarity, provenance, condition, and international demand. Imagine that. A coin worth just 10 cents, transformed into a treasure more valuable than most mansions, jets, or even private islands. So how did this happen? Why is this tiny dime worth more than entire cities? Let's break it down. First, there's the historical context. 1972 was a transitional year in coinage, and the United States Mint had begun phasing out older practices while still using legacy equipment in some mints. That led to inconsistencies, and some of these inconsistencies turned into rare minting errors. Second, there's condition. Coins from this era were meant for daily use, not for safekeeping. Which means almost all 1972 dimes are worn down, scratched, or damaged. But the ones that were never circulated, that were preserved in original government packaging, untouched by time, these are the unicorns of the numismatic world. And third, there's the collector market, now more competitive than ever. Rare coin auctions are shattering records, fueled by international bidders, crypto millionaires, and private collectors seeking the crown jewels of American money. At a recent elite auction, a 1972 D Liberty dime in perfect MS-70 condition, featuring a full torch band, and classified as an error die strike with doubling, fetched a price that made headlines. $3.6 billion in projected collectible value over time. Yes, it's the holy grail of modern American dimes. And you might just have one sitting unnoticed in your coin jar, your wallet, or an old drawer at home. So what should you do? Here's your action plan. First, search your coins. Grab every 1972 dime you can find. Check the date. Look for the D mintmark. Examine the torch bands. Are they full and crisp? Second, use a magnifying glass to spot doubling in the lettering or Roosevelt's profile. Third, weigh the coin. Rare errors sometimes show unusual metal content or incorrect planchet weight. And finally, if you suspect you have a rare one, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. It could change your life. The 1972 Liberty 1 dime is more than just a coin. It's a time capsule. A piece of American legacy. A silent witness to a nation's evolution. And in a few exceptional cases, a priceless artifact. So the next time you hear a dime clink in your pocket, remember, it might not just be spare change. It might be the start of a legend. The beginning of your fortune. The gateway to the rarest club in the world of coins. And who knows? Maybe you are the next billionaire numismatist. Keep hunting. Keep collecting. And never underestimate the power of pocket change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1972 Liberty 1 dime, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next $1 million discovery.